We have some important information for all holders of the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong. A significant development appears to be unfolding behind the scenes. And then it's something that could fundamentally alter the landscape for anyone holding these currencies. We've received what is reported to be a confidential list from an internal banking source. This isn't just another rumor circulating on online forums. This is said to be a serious operational document from within major financial institutions. It allegedly details which banks are making preparations to exchange the dinar and dong at new, potentially higher rates. For those who have been following this story, this could be the turning point everyone has been waiting for. Over the last several weeks, we have been closely observing unusual activity within the financial sector. There have been reports of quiet system updates, internal memos being circulated, and changes to foreign currency platforms that are not a part of routine maintenance. With this alleged leaked document, these individual pieces of information seem to be forming a cohesive picture. The document reportedly names specific Tier 1 and Tier 2 banks in the United States and other countries that are actively getting ready for dinar and dong exchanges. These aren't small-scale local branches. These are major financial institutions with the infrastructure, trained staff, regulatory clearance to handle foreign currency conversions on a massive scale. If these preparations are genuine, indicates a level of synchronized multi-bank readiness that has not been observed before. One of the most noteworthy aspects of this alleged leak is its global scope. The banks and their branches are not just in Iraq or Vietnam. They are part of a global network that includes the United States, Canada, Australia, parts of Europe, even key financial centers in the Middle East. The document is said to show that these selected branches are being prepared for what is being termed a tiered asset-backed currency conversion. This technical term essentially means they are setting up a structured system for exchanges, which includes processes for authenticating currency notes, finding the origin of the funds, and updating digital exchange rates. Such an extensive level of preparation is not something banks undertake without a concrete reason, and it typically suggests that a go-live date is on the horizon, even if it has not yet been announced publicly. It's a well-known fact within this community that frontline bank staff, such as tellers or phone representatives, are often unaware of these high preparations. This is because the training materials and internal memos are distributed only to a select inner circle of individuals, including certain executives, compliance officers, and advisors for high net worth clients. This alleged leak seems to have originated from this very group of insiders. Individuals who have likely signed strict non-disclosure agreements. They are being briefed in secure offline sessions with no emails or public calls to maintain the sensitivity of the information and prevent any public panic before the institutions are ready. This level of operational security and discretion alone suggests that the situation is far more advanced than it has been in years. The document reportedly goes beyond simply listing bank names. It also contains specific timelines and operational notes. For example, one section is said to mention plans for staffing adjustments for foreign currency desks to begin in the coming weeks. Other part of the document reportedly outlines updates to internal digital platforms where special placeholders for dinar and dong exchange rates have been added. These are not visible to the public. They are accessible to authorized staff. This kind of behind the scenes setup is not speculative. It is a clear sign of execution. When banks start to commit resources, train staff, and adjust their systems, it indicates that the event they are preparing for is believed to be imminent enough to warrant such significant investments. Some of the banks on this list are reported to be well-known institutions in the United States, major tier one players that are household names. At least one of these banks has recently upgraded its foreign currency exchange system to include internal tracking for both the dinar and the dong. Other institutions on the list are specialists in foreign exchange and wealth management, including firms with ties to major global investment groups. This is a significant detail because some of these same firms have been quietly accumulating Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong for an extended period in anticipation of a potential rate change. The fact that professionals with deep knowledge of global finance are preparing for the same event that individual holders are waiting for suggests a potential alignment of interests. The alleged tiered exchange process outlined in the document is particularly revealing. According to the notes, the initial phase, which is sometimes referred to as whale exchanges, will involve high-volume transactions from verified clients. These are individuals or groups who have already had their currency authenticated and their holdings documented with specific financial institutions. Following this initial phase, the process may be opened in subsequent stages to the general public. This is not about excluding smaller holders, but about controlling the flow of transactions, preventing system overloads, and ensuring that banks and regulators can manage the new rates smoothly without creating disruptions in the global financial markets. It is a controlled and deliberate rollout designed to maintain stability. Another point highlighted by the alleged leak is the extreme level of confidentiality surrounding the preparations. Employees involved in the training for this exchange process were reportedly required to sign stringent confidentiality agreements. They were explicitly warned that discussing the information outside of designated secure channels could lead to immediate termination. This degree of legal protection is far from standard banking procedure. It is typically reserved for matters of extraordinary sensitivity. It indicates not only that banks are preparing, but that they are doing so under the close supervision of regulators, possibly including the U.S. Treasury and similar agencies in other countries. These institutions would not undertake such a large-scale coordinated effort without the expectation of regulatory approval. Skeptics might argue that we have heard similar stories about leaked lists and bank readiness in the past. While it is true that rumors have circulated, makes this situation different is that the same information is now being corroborated by multiple unrelated sources. We are hearing consistent reports from banking operations staff, IT department workers, and even third-party contractors who are all describing the same updates. In one specific case, technology contractor was reportedly brought in to update digital onboarding flows for exotic currency conversions with the Dinar and Dong explicitly mentioned. This is not a coincidence. It is evidence of coordinated and deliberate action. Furthermore, we are seeing confirmation from the global financial networks that handle interbank transactions such as the SWIFT system. There are reports of quiet behind the scenes updates being made to allow for faster and more detailed currency data flow for the Dinar and Dong. This is a critical development because for a large-scale revaluation to be successful, participating bank needs to be able to instantly reconcile the same exchange rates worldwide. These systems must be updated and operational before any change can be implemented. The fact that these updates are reportedly happening now suggests that a real-time event is in motion and moving forward. So where does all of this leave you? The everyday holder of Iraqi Dinar or Vietnamese Dong. First and foremost, this is not the time to panic or to rush to your local bank branch. As we have discussed, most frontline staff will not have any information about these developments. Showing up and demanding answers will likely lead to frustration and will not provide you with the information you seek. Instead, focus should be on practical preparation. Ensure that your currency is stored securely and is protected. If you have not already done so, consider having it verified by a reputable dealer or authentication service, so you are ready when the exchange process eventually opens. Crucial step is to get your paperwork in order. This includes your identification, proof of purchase, and any receipts you may have. These documents will be vital if you are asked to prove the origin of your currency. Additionally, you should begin consulting with a financial or tax professional who has experience with foreign currency exchanges. It's a simple reality that if the rates do change significantly, there could be major tax implications, and being unprepared could be a costly mistake. Having a clear plan in place now will allow you to act swiftly and efficiently when the window for exchange becomes available. In major financial events like this, speed and readiness can be the difference between being part of the first wave of exchanges and being left waiting while others process their transactions. Based on the phased rollout described in the alleged leaked document, the first wave of clients may see the fastest processing and the most streamlined experience. This is another reason to be as prepared as possible. In addition to the operational preparations, the document also reportedly highlights a focus on enhanced security, both physical and digital. The notes mention upgraded vault procedures, biometric authentication for certain transactions, and even the potential for off-site secure exchange locations for high V-value clients. This heightened level of security indicates that financial institutions are expecting significant sums of currency to be handled, counted, and converted. For those who hold large amounts of currency, these measures could mean longer appointment times, additional verification steps. Even the presence of armed security at certain sites, it shows how seriously these institutions are taking the potential for a large-scale currency event. From a broader global perspective, these alleged leaks align with several other developments we have been monitoring in Iraq. There have been continuous discussions about currency reform and strengthening the dinar's position in the global market. Meanwhile, in Vietnam, the economy has continued to grow steadily, and there have been signs of increased international investment. On their own, these individual events may not seem like major news, but when combined with the reported banking readiness, they collectively paint a picture of two nations preparing to assume a stronger position in global trade and finance. It is often the case that when a nation makes a move to strengthen its currency, financial institutions are ready with the necessary systems and procedures long before the public is made aware. It is also so essential to consider the role of global regulators in all of this. Any significant adjustment to currency values, especially one involving multiple countries, will undoubtedly attract the attention of central banks, the International Monetary Fund, and major treasury departments. The fact that large Tier 1 banks are reportedly moving forward with training and system updates suggests that some form of clearance or green light has been given behind closed doors. These large institutions would not risk committing resources on this scale without the expectation that the regulators are either on board or, at the very least, are not standing in their way. Many viewers have been asking if there will be an official announcement. The honest answer is that there may not be a large public F-facing announcement before the first phase of exchanges begins. Rollout starts with high-value clients and controlled appointments. The news may only reach the public after the process is already well underway. This is why it is so critical to stay connected to reliable fact-based sources and to avoid acting on social media rumors or outdated forum posts, as misinformation can spread quickly and lead to costly mistakes for those wondering how quickly this could happen. Leak does not provide a specific public date. However, based on the described staffing adjustments and platform updates that are reportedly already being rolled out, it is reasonable to believe that the internal target is not months away. It could be a matter of weeks or even days, depending on how smoothly the internal tests and final preparations proceed. Remember, these banks are already in a training phase, and once that phase concludes, the next logical step is live execution. So, while no one can guarantee a date, the operational readiness described here suggests we are closer than at any point in recent history. It is also a good idea to watch for small signs at your own bank, such as subtle changes to their website or updates to their currency exchange pages, as can sometimes be early indicators that they are preparing for something bigger. In conclusion, and to be very clear, this is not just another recycled rumor. The story that reportedly comes with detailed operational notes, operation from multiple unrelated insiders, and evidence of real-world action inside major financial institutions. Banks are preparing their systems, training specialized staff, securing locations, and updating global payment networks. These are not the moves of institutions preparing for nothing. Moves of institutions that are expecting a major currency event. If you are holding Iraqi Dinar or Vietnamese Dong, you are holding assets that are reportedly now on the radar of some of the biggest banks in the world. Doso. The message today is simple. Get ready. Make sure your currency is secure, your documentation is in order, and your financial plan is clear. Remain alert for credible updates and be prepared to act quickly and decisively when the exchange window opens. We will continue to track every development on this story, and the moment there is confirmed news of rates, exchange instructions, or a public rollout schedule, you will hear it here first. This could very well be the turning point that Dinar and Dong holders have been waiting for. Until then, stay alert, stay informed. Most importantly, stay prepared.